The St. Louis Cardinals began the 2018 spring training season with the first official workout for pitchers and catchers. And while they're taking the field a little earlier in February than usual, they also started their workouts a little later in the day than usual. That's by design, thanks to sleep studies. I'm St. Louis Post-Dispatch baseball writer Derrick Goold, joined by St. Louis Post-Dispatch Hall of Fame baseball writer Rick Hummel. We're here in Jupiter, Florida, covering the Cardinals for STLtoday.com and the Post-Dispatch. And Rick, you had a chance today to talk with newcomer Bud Norris. What did he have to make of things, and did he enjoy his extra hour of sleep?
Well, he probably had less to do than other guys. He had his physical last night when he came in here.
Right.
So I'd say yes. He had. Bud Norris is looking forward to playing for the Cardinals. Many fans going back, 7, 8, 10 years didn't like Bud Norris because he beat the Cardinals so often when he first came up with Houston.
Bud Norris will start this spring as a starter. He'll be stretched out and then also get a chance, maybe if it doesn't work in the rotation, to be a part of the bullpen. He did open last year as a reliever for the Angels and had 19 saves, including a run of 5 for 5 there towards the end of April. Did he talk at all about the role he expected to have?
He wanted to start. He said, I like both, but I'm a starter at heart. I want to go back to that. And I told him what we were told by Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak both, that he's coverage for the rotation first and for the bullpen second. They're going to stretch him out to be a starter. If they want him to be a reliever later on, they can do that.
So let's talk about sleep a little bit. Last year, the Cardinals did a sleep study on their players, and that continues. That's all part of the Department of Performance that they've tried to establish and gather more data about, I guess, peak performance and peak preparedness. This anti-fragility is what they talk about. Last year, there was a wave of teams that pushed back spring training. The Tampa Bay Rays did, several teams in Arizona did, and now this year the Cardinals are. They're going to push back their mandatory report date by an hour and try to pep up the pace of spring training. One of the driving forces behind this isn't just the sleep studies they did or all the data they collected, but Mike Maddux. Mike Maddux made it very clear today that he wants to get in, get the work in, and get done. What was it he said? He goes, a successful day is starting with 32 pitchers and ending with 32 pitchers. What did you make when you saw the schedule? This is the first time someone from outside the organization has been pitching coach in a generation. What did you make when you saw the schedule?
Well, I want to see it when everybody's here, first of all, but the pitchers seem to have only about, 4 groups through, and the other guys were there for about an hour and 15 minutes doing bunting and defense and stuff, sprinting and whatever else, and they were gone, even starting at 11:15 as they did. And I'm all for that, by the way, because writers can be sleep deprived also.
I don't think it's going to change. I think we have blogs to get to, we have videos to do, we got a podcast later, and then articles. I think sleep is on the back burner.
We could ease in a half hour later.
We can ease in a half hour more to drink coffee.
Yeah.
One of the things, though, that Maddux stressed was this notion of actually doing baseball activities, that yes, while the pitchers are here to build up their arm strength, and that's the priority, and stay healthy, he did mention that he wants to see more baseball things, which allowed Rick to ask a question about one of his pet peeves. Would you like to share?
Well, it annoys me no end that fielding drills in the spring that pitchers have never seem to be replicated during the season. How many times have you seen a ball hit? Well, first of all, before there's a guy at first base and the reliever points to the shortstop or second baseman and says, "Okay, you're gonna cover," and the guy nods. Yeah, okay. So could be a starter, but most often the relievers mess these plays up. So the ball's hit right back to the guy, and he turns and waits to see who's going to cover. Well, he's already discussed that with this guy. Throw it over the bag.
In the center field.
The guy's not there. It's his fault. But often the throw is bad because it's rushed, and you think that they do these things. So many times I've seen them done in the spring with coaches running. Well, coaches are not running during the season.
Right.
Put some scat backs out there and run them and see how these things work, rather than have coaches do these drills.
So Rick will be spending a lot of time in spring watching PFP. That's pitchers fielding practice, but that also is a focus of Maddux, and it meshes well with something that the Cardinals have talked a lot about, is improving the fundamentals with the addition or return of Jose Akendo to the coaching staff, the addition of Willie McGee, and the addition of Mike Maddux. So we're starting to see not just how that will play in the dugout, but how that will play with the spring schedule. Rick, thank you as always for joining me. For Rick Hummel, St. Louis Post-Dispatch baseball writer, I'm St. Louis Post-Dispatch baseball writer Derrick Goold, reporting live from Jupiter here for STLtoday.com.